Greetings. This is Rick Jordan. Today is April 7th, 2021. Welcome to Talk Thing number 5, which is Anxiety Part B. I got into a rhythm of publishing these YouTube videos once a week every Saturday. About a week and a half ago, I had a setback with my own anxiety and blood pressure, which is why I didn't publish one last Saturday, but here I am. Couple of quick things. Here are some ways you can help me right below this video. If you like the video, then you can go ahead and click like, and if you want to share it, you can click share. If you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, you can click subscribe. And YouTube loves it when somebody has a lot of subscribers. Eventually I hope to get to 1,000 subscribers, and that's not about me at all. Once I reach 1,000 subscribers, then YouTube will give me a little more latitude, and I don't even know what that looks like. Also, under the video, you'll see a link to my Patreon page. If you feel led to financially support what's going on here in any way. And thank you for those of you who are. I want you to know you're making a difference. And thank you to those of you who have reached out to me privately and have sent checks. It's really making a difference. Thank you. In our first talk on anxiety, I shared my own journey, but we wrapped the rest of the talk around Psalm 94 verses 17 through 19. Without the Lord as my help, I would never make it. My soul would quickly descend to the land where death silences every voice. When my heart screams, I am slipping or I am doomed, your fiery and unfailing love, Lord, holds me up and steadies me. When I'm upset and crazy inside my head with anxious thoughts or doubts multiplying, the soothing comfort of your presence calms me and becomes my security. In our second talk about anxiety, we're going to look at something called somatic grounding through sensory embodiment. How about that? Somatic, which means body, grounding through sensory, the 5 senses, embodiment, body embodiment. After my breakdown on December 11th, 2020, I think some weeks after that, our daughter Amanda mentioned something to me that I had used when I was a pastor in helping people who had high anxiety. She mentioned the word grounding. And it's not grounding as in discipline, but it's grounding. Again, somatic grounding through sensory embodiment. And I want to give you a really simple definition of this just to help us get a handle on it. Somatic grounding through sensory embodiment simply means being fully present to God's loving presence in the bodies God gave us right here and right now. Let me say that again. Being fully present to God's loving presence in the bodies God gave us right here and right now. We'll unpack that a little bit. For me, that comes down to 12 verbs, 12 action words. Breathe, pray, thank, see, hear, taste, touch, smell, laugh, love, sing, serve. But in the middle, you heard the five senses: see, hear, taste, touch, smell. There are all kinds of scriptures that speak to somatic grounding through sensory embodiment. In this talk, we'll cover just two of them. One of them might be familiar to you. Psalm 118, verse 24. This is the sacred, one-of-a-kind day that the Lord has made. Let us celebrate and be glad in it. Okay? This, right here, right now, this is the sacred, one-of-a-kind day that the Lord has made. It won't happen again. This moment won't happen again. Let us celebrate and be glad in it, as opposed to being out of it. And those of us who suffer from anxiety, we know what it's like to be out of it. We know what it's like to be in the middle of a day or in the middle of a moment and have absolutely nothing to do with that day or that moment. So that's the first passage. The second one is from the New Testament. Paul's letter to the Corinthians. It's called 1 Corinthians chapter 6. Paul says, "Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit within you, which you have from God, and that you are not your own? You were bought with a price. Therefore, glorify God in your bodies." Okay, in the context of this passage, Paul is talking about sex, specifically sexual behavior that is harmful to ourselves or to other people. And toward the end, he says, do you not know that your bodies are sanctuaries, temples of the Holy Spirit within you, which you have from God, and that you don't belong to yourselves? For you are bought with a price. Therefore, glorify God where? In your bodies. So, this is the one of a kind sacred days that the Lord has made. Let us celebrate and be glad where? In it. Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit within you, which you have from God, and that you are not your own, for you were bought with a price? Therefore, glorify God where? In your bodies. In the Gospels, Jesus himself, God the Son, engaged in somatic grounding through sensory embodiment. We have this big theological word, incarnational, the Word, which means Jesus, God's best revelation, God's best self-revelation. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. In Matthew's Gospel, we read Jesus saying, "Consider the birds." He could say that because Jesus spent time doing nothing but considering the birds. And then consider the lilies or the grass. He could do that because Jesus had spent time looking at flowers, looking at grass. When I read through the Gospels with somatic grounding through sensory embodiment in the frontal lobe of my brain, it's like seeing and hearing, experiencing Jesus in the Gospels all over again, because Jesus was an extremely sensory being. So let's get practical. What does grounding do for us when we have anxiety, or when anxiety has us? I'll be confessional. I'll explain what it does for me. When I breathe, pray, thank, see, hear, taste, touch, smell, laugh, love, sing, serve, it resets me. It brings me back to myself, but it also kind of lands me, which could be a synonym for grounds. When you have high anxiety, or anxiety has you, it feels like you're in a spaceship that is taking off and achieving liftoff. And you're strapped in to this spaceship, but you don't have on a spacesuit. And so as the spaceship takes off, you have nothing to protect you from the pressure, from everything that's going on. That's what anxiety is like when you just shoot straight up, right? Well, through grounding, we can reverse course, and that would be kind of weird for the Kennedy Space Center. Can you imagine? Houston, we have a problem. The rocket is coming back down. But through somatic grounding, through sensory embodiment, these gifts that God has given us, we can actually reverse course. There's this phrase, it's kind of a cliche, called "be where your feet are." Maybe you've heard that before. Let's swap out some words for feet. Be where your breath is. So when you have anxiety, or anxiety has you, pay attention to your breathing. You can breathe out anxiety and breathe in now, or breathe in peace. Be where your breath is. See, hear, taste, touch, smell. And by the way, it's possible that all 5 of your senses aren't working. I don't know that about you. And if that is the case, I personally don't know how to help you, because all 5 of my senses are currently working. If you don't, then, wow, God can help you be creative. I know God can do that. For example, if you can't smell, maybe you can ask other people what smelling is like, or what something smells like. So be where your breath is. Be where your eyes are. Be where your ears are. Be where your tongue is. Be where your fingertips are. Be where your nose is. We can even get playful with this. I'll cycle through the 5 senses in 5 days. So on a given day, it will be see day, S-E-E, see day. And during that day, I'm just fully alive to whatever my eyes take in. See, hear day, taste day. I love that one. Taste day. Touch day. It's all about fingertips, nerve endings, feet, toes. See, hear, taste, touch, smell day. Go ahead and do that if you've never done that before. Just cycle through the 5 senses in 5 days. It really helps when it comes to this matter of grounding. So be where your feet are. Be where your breath is. Be where your eyes are. Be where your ears are. Be where your tongue is. Be where your fingertips are. Be where your nose is. Be where you are. Because where you are, God is. And that's extremely good news. Thank you. May you and I be fully present to God's loving presence in the bodies God gave us right here and right now. Grace and peace.